Heyo, my Planicos friends, Johnny5 Live here, and welcome back to another episode of Project PlanCo. Today, we're going to be building within the major central city area with three completely different and unique builds. One, a eco-friendly apartment building covered with greenery, giving a little bit of life and pop to the city. Another governmental bank building in the middle of the city with a very nice, clean aesthetic. Ending things off, we have a really nice apartment style building at the back of the city. So three incredible builds from three amazing builders. Why don't we jump right on into it? All right, we're gonna be filling out some of the city central buildings, nice and cohesive. That will be three full city buildings placed here today. And we're gonna start things off with building number 14. This is a 900 piece limitation, no TMTK, which I did subscribe to this and it did ask me to subscribe to some TMTK. Now, hopefully one of the moderators approved you of this and it's nothing too taxing. The workshop says that Itsem is the creator and they have used 933 pieces. I think this might be the first in the entire project to be placed that has gone over, but only by 33. So this one looks like it might be a little bit more difficult to place in terms of aligning it to its volumetric cube. I feel like I have it backwards. First of all, let's do an angle snap so we get a perfect 360 rotation on this. And it does look like it has hide me and sync me and hide me signs. So appreciate that. It's Sem. That's very odd. Oh, never mind. Hide me, but not me. Gotcha. I thought I had it backwards for a second. Let me know again once in the comments, guys. I'll be reading all the comments of previous videos. I've basically recorded, this would be the 5th video of this series so far. And I've done them all basically within 3 or 4 days of the project going live. So with that said, at the time of this recording, the first video, or I guess the second video of the series, has not actually even come out yet. It should be dropping tomorrow. So I actually don't know anybody's thoughts and comments on how we're presenting these videos yet. Do you guys like me talking about behind the scenes and giving info? Oh, what did I just do? I just lowered it. You guys like me giving information and talking about these creations as I'm setting them up? Is that a process you like to see? Definitely curious, because I could just say, here it is. I've already placed it. Let's talk about it. Let's look at it, and we can get right on into things. But there, if you want to see that, if you prefer that method, I guess we have timestamps in the description down below. Therefore, you guys can literally just skip to the part where we're looking at it rather than setting it up. So I feel like I filled the volume cube pretty good. Let's see if the monorail has any issues coming through here. Doesn't look like it. That's actually pretty cool. I think we're good. Let's place. So what I did is I delete the building there so that I can select the cube, and then I can undo, and now I can delete the cube. But I also want to make sure that the build sign, yes, see there's 2 build signs. We can get rid of one of them. I can undo. Now, do we want this on the front for now? I think so. Super snug, super tight. All right, I think we've snugly placed this in here. I'm wondering if I should have slid it over to this side a little bit more, but this is a big hero build, so I have a feeling it might come up pretty close to this, but there is still a tiny gap here, so I think we're okay. All right, let's review it. Let's showcase the build by Itsem. All right, perfect timing here. We have a monorail coming through and we can see how that interacts with the building there. It's gonna be really interesting to see what this creator here has come up with, the pip shot station. How that's going to interact with this build going into that build is really cool. I like this archway you did here. I like the little bit of green ivy growing on the walls. It does definitely create for some green, some vibrance in the park. We need a little bit of color pop here and there. We have someone inside playing some Xbox games on the TV or watching some Planet Coaster spotlights. I like the little touch of animatronics just chilling out. Not too many animatronics, just a couple for presents. We got the Ghostbusters character bathing out. Yeah, it's very nice. Very nice. I guess my only thought is looking at the front and the back, Oh, okay, there is a door. I was going to say there's no door to this building at all. Now, it is a little bit strange having to enter your building from the back side, but there is no pathway going to the front. So I understand the decision to do that there for sure. We're going to have to dress up the garden around here a little bit. That'll be some final polish. But again, a lot of this greenery here. We got a gigantic spotlight, AC units. We have the little smokestacks. One of the things to take inspiration from It's Sem's build here is this little radio tower, these AC units, these little ducts here, as we've seen from some previous builds review video that was given to the Discord members. Some of the builds don't necessarily have a lot of dressing on top, even just a little bit of a ledge, and It's Sem went crazy with the decorations up top. Now, mind you, there's a good chance you'll be walking around at foot level and you might not see any of that anyways, but presentation wise, we will be looking at the park like this eventually. So it's good to have a little bit of dressing there. So really good job to It's Sem on that. Backside's looking nice as well. We have these like random brick bits here sticking out just to add some randomization and texture, a couple pieces of graffiti, some garbage cans, some fire escape scaffold and all that stuff. Doorways. So try to break up the repetition. While we have the repetitive windows, we have some random AC units, some trim, some separation, some pipes. So really good job at adding some variation to your build and breaking up the repetitiveness. And obviously the front side is what you're going to be really looking at when you're coming through the park and what's presented here. And that's looking fantastic. So a phenomenal build to kick off the episode from It's Sem. Really nice work. Let's go see what else these creators have given us for today. All right, next up is building number 20, created by Samurai. They have this build here on the corner. City Building 20, limitation 600 pieces, no Thememaker toolkit. I didn't subscribe to any Thememaker toolkit, and they said on the Steam page they used 688. 88 pieces over. I suppose this is the episode where we start to notice builders going over. Now, hopefully that's not going to happen a lot, but thankfully in the previous creations that we have featured, all of the creators have basically gone under. That doesn't mean because some people are going under that we can give those extra parts to other people. We want everybody to go under if possible, because we calculated over 120,000 pieces for this entire park, and that is going to be a lag fest. So this one is a little bit more troublesome, because even though I hid the sign, I don't know how far I should be hiding it, because clearly it is floating. So if I were to make an assumption and bring this down to the ground level where it's no longer floating, the door is completely submerged into the ground. Now, how does that door look in the front? It's going down to the railing. So I'm not too happy about that. I'll have to come up with a solution on my own, but I think this is kind of its intended purpose, right where the sign disappears. Oh my God, that trash. The flies, Lord of the Flies. And in terms of it interacting with the subway, if we bring it out to fill the volume cube, we will also have some floatages here. Probably best if I push this to about here. Then the guests walking on the pathway have less issues with walking through the column here, and it not filling the volume cubes kind of good because it creates some spacing between these two here. So I think this is the best possible situation for me to place this. And he called it bank. So it's a government building and a bank. Something you could have said on your Steam Workshop if I didn't notice that there. I could have provided that information while placing it. Now, I don't think this creator left their builder sign in, so we can bring that up front here. All right, Samurai, there you go. And we could go ahead and delete our volume cube here and just see how this fits in. Pretty snug. What's going on here? Uh-oh. Okay, good. I thought for some reason the coaster was passing through here. Not the case. Thank goodness. That looks pretty snug on this side, pretty snug on the bottom, floating over here, but not too bad. So what I may do here, because there is a door here, I would like to almost make a step down, right? So you could step down and then the door isn't crashing. And that way the sidewalk actually takes you to the front door there. Maybe something the builder could have considered when building their plot there. And then I will kind of continue that a little bit. Now, I'm not going to make it a full sidewalk all the way down. Whoops. Instead, I'm just going to make it a little half sidewalk just so we can, get to the edge here and cover up the floating pillar on the side, as well as this janky gap back here. Make sure now we're not clipping through there, and we're not clipping through there. Now I'm probably going to raise all these up so they meet with that pillar over there, so that pillar's not floating. And same with this one here. There. That dresses up the corner bit here. It still leaves us room to do some terraforming and gardening there, but also gives you an entrance to... Wait, oh. I was like, where'd the sign go? To the bank there. And we're looking good. I think it's integrated quite nicely. Let's take a look at your build. Definitely, let's change the time of day. Yeah, 2 p.m. is much cleaner. Very governmental style building. Lots of detail and noise on the front here. All these like little intricate concrete pieces. Really nice stuff. I could see why you went over on the part count. All these windows having so many details, trims, and little pokey bits around them. All the way around, all sides. Don't have windows here, which is actually a smart design here because the builder knew it was facing a parkade and nobody wants to live looking out their window at a parkade. That is actually well thought out. Yep. And we have some of that decoration on top. Too bad about this having no detail, but I still appreciate the thought process of putting a door or an exit to the top of your build. Unfortunately, it just looks like a cube on top of your building. If you would have asked, I would have probably allowed you to take, you know, 4 extra pieces. I mean, wait, you already went over by like 80 pieces, didn't you? But I think you could have actually gotten away with, you know, putting some corner bits on this guy here. Honestly, that is better than nothing. I'm gonna leave it like that for now, just so it adds some aesthetic. I don't know what I would use for the top piece here. I think it could use a little bit more sideways trim. Maybe that's something I'll come back to later, but at the least for now, we have the matching columns to create some separation on the hard edges of that very, very plain cube. But yeah, this is a great looking build. Very intricate. Are these poles? That's one little issue that we... Oh, hopefully these are just 3 pieces. Uh-oh. Why do the poles have multiple poles inside of them? That's curious. Whoever placed these originally, I think they duplicated them twice. Whoops. Do all of these poles have extra poles inside? They do. That is part count we do not need. Huh. Well, whoever's gonna come in and do polish later, maybe you could check that. I have the two in each. Bad Warmgar. I feel like Warmgar placed all these, but I don't see any reason for having 2 poles on top of each other. Anyways, a problem for later. Something to QA pass. Always finding bugs with things, aren't we? So there it is. I mean, maybe I could change the spacing of the street lamps a little bit, but I think it's fine. I like the proper spacing throughout the park here. Maybe. Yeah, I think having it like that might just be a slight bit better, a little bit more clean. And maybe we could add one like this, just so at nighttime the bank sign, you could see, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that fine? I think so. Bank. So this is the nighttime lighting. It's a subtle yellow. We don't really have a light source, but I guess we could assume it's coming from the windows, the interiors. I think that's okay. Did we look at Itsem's lighting for his build? So absolutely 0 lighting. That is a bit of a shame, to be honest. Like, the only thing being lit is this tiny little TV and obviously the builder sign. So that's something we're gonna have to probably, I mean, there's the big spotlight. Maybe we can go in and add a few lights later. And I also forgot to tone down the lights on this. So I think I got a little bit of lighting work. I should add lights to Itsem's build. I should remove lights from this build. This one seems fine to me, but definitely I feel like Itsem's should have probably not passed the QA check and should have been sent back for some lighting. He already went over what's an extra 10 pieces for 10 pieces for a few extra lights. I think that would have been fine. So that's okay. Demona Lisa might have missed that when she QA checked it, but we can fix that up quite easily. So yeah, this build here today from Samurai was also looking really good. I love it. Nice government style building. Let's see what the last creation of this episode has to offer. Okay, last but not least, we have Building 33 created by Maverick the Ace. I am reading your names based off your Steam Workshop, by the way, not your Discord names. It's kind of, you lose your train of thought or when you're looking at the sheet with everybody's stuff on there. There's so much stuff written on there, I can't really spot what I'm looking at. So it's much easier for me to use the Steam Workshop page. So this building here, it says it's a Harvard/Boston style building with a large balcony, no ThemeMaker toolkit, 611 pieces out of 800 for Project PlanCo. So I guess those two other people going over by just 80 and 40 or whatever, he had the extra spare pieces to lend them. We're not doing that, but in theory, we're still under budget in theory, but we're kind of way over budget, as I mentioned earlier. So yeah. Okay, this one does not have a sink me, hide me sign. We're gonna have some eyeballing here to do. Hopefully we get it right. Please do include that in your submissions, guys. It also looks like this one has a base foundation included, which actually, if you do include a base foundation like this, it actually makes it really easy to do it without a sink me, hide me sign, because I know that this should be above ground and not too far over. So we want this little lip or edge sticking out, and it looks like it butts up there quite nicely. We might want to leave some room for your neighbor, but I do like the idea of having them as close as possible. I know these two buildings were kind of challenging for the builders. They can't really do interior shops because they're building literally into a mountainside, but it kind of creates for some interesting aesthetics. So yeah, I think that's just fine. And how close to the sidewalk should I come up here? How close to this build should I come up? So it's jutting up right against that build. So it might, I think that's okay though. Maybe just create a little bit of space. How are we on this angle? Okay, I think I'm ready to hit place. Fingers crossed. So the volume cube is an interesting one. It had a slope. Wait, what? Oh my God. These two volume cubes are combined. I'm having a heart attack now. I've been deleting volume cubes. Are there any others that are connected to other volume cubes? One day we're gonna have a submission that comes in that I'm like, where is this? I can't find it in the city. Is there any blank spots from previous episodes? I don't think so. I think this might be the one and only case. I'm actually glad I accidentally hit the M key. It let me know. What if I ungroup scenery group? Oh no, that doesn't work. So I have to edit the scenery group, separate these, and it's one block now. And this should be separated as well. Okay, good. As I was gonna say, it's an interesting shape. I don't know if it was intended to have some sort of sloped building there, but this builder decided to go with a balcony instead, and I think that's perfectly acceptable. Now, this is one of the weird spots that doesn't have a builder sign. Let's take a look in here. Hopefully I'm not leaving a builder sign behind somewhere. So what we can do is take the builder sign from this over here and put it out front. Looking at the sign out sheet for the Discord document, his name is actually Ace Maverick, so we'll go with that. Oh wait, there's his builder sign. I prefer it on the ground so we can find it easier next time, like when if we go to remove them. And I think we're in. Let's take a look at the build. Ace Maverick, nice clean front. Lots of detail, two different colors, gray foundation, variation between the windows using planters, different balcony styles, no balconies down below, large balcony up above, even a little lantern, and then even the top windows are different. Then custom roofs using individual pieces to board them up. Very expensive. This little group here is 140 objects, but you managed to get your build done anyways, and I think that is a nice little bit of detail. Now if we zoom out, nope, doesn't give us any issues, really. I was wondering if the LODs would disappear. A little bit of ivy on the side here, no detail on the back because you don't see the back, so pretty smartly built. However, this looks like a lot of pieces. What's going on here? 42 individually placed beams. I'm not sure why you didn't go with just wall pieces, especially because this is the backside. You know what I mean? You could have done much larger pieces, but I guess these are longer pieces. They cover more distance, but less verticality. I'm just wondering if there was a more efficient way to build this wall out of, say, 9 pieces rather than 42 pieces. So again, they didn't build anything here. Hopefully that doesn't become a problem. There is a gap there. It is slightly noticeable from some angles, but barely. I think once we get this building in, I will just keep that in mind. And when I place this one in, I will tuck it up as close as possible so that we cover that up. It's pretty smart that the builder did decide to not build anything there at all, so we don't have to delete anything. but I wasn't aware of that until reviewing it now. So yeah, cute little balcony up above, again using a handful of animatronics just to give it a little bit more life. They're sitting out having a fire. We have another Easter egg pink penguin, the first of this video. So not every building including a pink penguin, thank God, but he has become a little bit of a mascot for this channel at this point. So definitely fun to find them once in a while. But yeah, I think this is a great build. Lots of different texture details used together to create a interesting and unique build. It also appears to me that you have used some nighttime lighting, very well lit. The windows are lit up, little lanterns on the front. We have the fire there, really good lighting, probably the best lighting of the three that we reviewed, as this one doesn't have light sources for its lighting. It's a little bit on the yellowish side. It's a little too yellow for my personal preference, and no lighting with this one. So hopefully we get all future buildings have some lighting, not too much lighting. Sorry, Abby, that's the last time I'll bring it up. I'll try to fix it so it stops bugging me, and everybody just tries to get a nice balance of a little bit of light in all future builds, so that we don't have to go in and manually add them. And maybe if we manually add them, the creator might be not happy with how we chose to do it. So obviously, if you want your build to feel the way you intended it, design your lighting the way you would like it to be, as long as it's subtle. All right, cool. I think these are three great builds here. I like all of them. They're all different. This one has an interactive patio, a very clean, almost residential style look to it. So an apartment build. This one being almost like a green grow up, eco-friendly build. It's very interesting. And then we have a commercial bank. So three completely different styles, but all within the city style. And I think cohesively it'll bring the city together, and nothing to me so far is standing out as, you know, awkward or strange. And it just goes to show how nicely all of this is coming together and how well the community is working together to create styles that all cohesively work together. And while this city area has a lot to go and many more builds, it's starting to come together. We now have the three that we placed in, the gigantic church. We got two little guys up front, and that's a nice little handful, 6 buildings. And we have just the one little Italy building. PlanCo Main Street's halfway done, and we started on our little Asian district. So cool. It's really coming together. This has been a lot of fun. What did you guys think? Leave your comments down below, and that's going to do it for us in this episode of Project PlanCo. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye now.